Ski Tips with Josh Foster. Sponsored by Canada's favorite family ski resort, Big White, in Thompson, Okanagan, near Kelowna, BC.
You know, your hips is pretty much where most of your body mass is when you're skiing, you know, and if your hips are in a really good spot, well, then you can use them to your advantage. If they're not in a good spot, well, then balance and ski performance becomes a little bit of a problem. If your hips are too far forward, that puts the weight to the shovel of the ski. If your hips are too far back, well, that puts your weight right to the tails of the skis. And if the hip moves in without everything else coming in, well, that puts you too far to the inside and to your inside ski. That's no good. I'm going to show you how to use your hips today. So if I can get a good alignment in my hip, I can use my hip to create some acceleration. So to get that power, that acceleration into my turn, what I want to feel is I want to feel that my hip kind of leads that movement to the inside. When we're skiing, we get power from our hips, we get direction from our knees, and we get fine tuning from our ankles, much like a pitcher throwing a baseball. Check this out. When you watch that pitcher from behind home plate, when they take their wind up, the power comes from the shoulder. The direction, whether the pitch goes inside or stays outside, comes from the elbow, and the stuff comes from the wrist. We're going to use that here in a ski turn, see how it goes. So when I start my turn, I move in with my hip, then direction from my knees, then fine tuning from my ankles right there. So because I've got that good alignment, when I move into the turn, the hip goes first, then the knees, then the ankles. So as I move into the turn, the hip goes first, that's where the power comes from. Get the direction from the knees, and then that fine tuning, I get that from my ankles, but it's a pretty quick sequence. It's kind of hips, knees, ankles, hips, knees, ankles, hips, knees, ankles. So as my turn progresses, feel that power and that acceleration by feeling that sequence of moving to the inside where I get the power from my hip, I get the direction from my knees, and I get the fine tuning from my ankles. But it's a really quick sequence. It's kind of hips, knees, ankles all at the same time, somewhat simultaneous. Too far forward, that's no good. Too far back, that's no good either. I hope that one works for you. From beautiful Big White Ski Resort, Canada's favorite family resort just outside Kelowna, British Columbia, I'm Josh. We'll see you next time.